Hello BookTube, my name is Darcy, I'm 22 and I'm from Melbourne, and this is my May wrap-up, all the books that I read in the month of May. This month I had a really good reading month, but that was because I was craving young adult like no man's business, and I definitely got my fix in that I only read young adult, apart from one book, but still. The first of those books was Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, and I really loved this book. I loved it so much. It was just a really refreshing read in that it was simple, good characters, not a extremely complicated storyline. I loved it. I really loved it. So that was book number 1. Then I was going to read Rebel of the Sands, but I didn't get to it because I remembered that A Court of Mist and Fury was out, so I had to pick it up, and I got it. And I actually have a book discussion video of this up, which you can check out if you want to know more of my thoughts. But overall, I bloody loved this book. Holy guacamole. It was so good. Like, so good. If you are hesitant to pick this up because you were a bit on the fence with A Court of Thorns and Roses, seriously, I reckon you guys should try this because it just was completely better than A Court of Thorns and Roses in every single way, in my opinion. It had themes of even feminism and, you know, sexual liberation, and Sarah J Maas dealt with PTSD, depression, anxiety, all of that stuff. I thought she handled it really well in this book. The character development is crazy good. The relationship that develops is so wonderful and built on mutual respect. It's just, I really loved it. And as for the plot, it was exciting, action-packed. I really loved this book. Then I read Split Infinity by Talia Kalkipsakis. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correct. But anyway, this is the sequel to the Lifespan of Starlight series, and it's a young adult Australian novel that deals with time travel. And to be honest, I was a little bit let down by this, only because I really enjoyed Lifespan of Starlight. I thought it was wonderful and simple, but not too simple, whereas I found this one, it's like the concepts and everything that happened in this book was so exciting, but it wasn't explained thoroughly enough or intricately enough for the ideas that were brought about, if that makes any sense. So like if I described what was happening, you'd think it was so exciting, but then there were some scenes where I thought could have been explained so much more, like throughout a chapter, but they were just summed up in like a quick paragraph. I mean, maybe that was because A Court of Mist and Fury went into excessive detail. There were some instances where I really wanted to know how different characters were dealing with what was happening, and that kind of wasn't really done. I thought the character development could have been a bit stronger. But I mean, it was a quick, easy read, and I still enjoyed it. I wanted more. Then I actually listened to the audiobook of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by Stephen Fry, and I loved it. Harry Potter is perfect in every single way. It was glorious rereading it. I always forget how funny Harry Potter is as well, and how funny Jo is. She just describes things in the funniest way. One thing that I often forget is that Hogwarts in the movie is portrayed as like this magnificent regal place, which it is in the books, but in the books it's also quite quirky and like a really kooky kind of place, which is just so fun. And I wish Peeves was in the movie because he's so funny. Oh, it's so good. So good. So I'll definitely be probably listening to Chamber of Secrets in June because I just loved it so much listening to the audiobook. The next book I read was Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This was bloody good. By the way, can you tell that I've had 3 coffees today? I'm like... So this book was definitely a slow burner for me because the first 100 pages in, I didn't really... It's not that I didn't get it, it's just I didn't find myself connecting with it thus far in the book. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this book has so much hype around it. I don't even know why, because blah, 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 blah. I'm not connecting with any of the characters. Neck minute, by like halfway through, like the next 100 pages, it just like cemented me in it. Nina was by far my favorite character. Oh my gosh. If you've read this book, definitely tell me and let me know because I just really want to discuss it. I loved it so much. And actually I really loved that I checked out Leigh Bardugo's Pinterest page, and I don't have a Pinterest account. I probably should get one. But I checked out her Pinterest page, and it's really cool to see images that she visualized being a part of the kind of Grisha world. And it's kind of reassuring to know that I pictured the same things as the author. if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like often I picture characters in a completely different way to the way the author wants you to see the character. And then I'm always like, oh no, did I read it wrong? But it was so refreshing that, I don't know. This is a duology. So there's only one more in this series coming out, which is a bit sad because I really enjoy the world. Really loved it. So I'm actually definitely going to pick up the Grisha trilogy because I really enjoyed her writing. A lot of people say that it's not as good as this, but I don't really care because if it's got good characters, then I'm always down. Then I finished this month by reading The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the final book in the Raven Cycle book series, which I, again, just completely adore, this book I found it really, really beautiful. I found this whole series is just so completely engrossing and electrifying, and I feel like it balances interesting plotline with interesting character development, like just so well. Also, this cover's just so aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, I had a really great reading month for me, but again, I think that's because I read young adult, and young adult, I just read a lot quicker. Everyone does. Reads a lot quicker than adult books. Next month, I'm definitely going to try and get to a wider variety of books because I'm a bit young adulted out. That makes any sense. Anyway, if you've read any of those books that I mentioned or you're wanting to read it, just let me know in the comments because I'd really love to discuss it with you. And if you want, you can subscribe or like or whatever. I hope you have a really lovely day. See you later.